Imagine holding a coin so small in your hand, yet so powerful it could completely change your life. A coin that might have passed through the pockets of children, merchants and soldiers, unnoticed, forgotten, or spent without a second thought. But what if that humble piece of metal was actually a key? A key that could turn into enough wealth to buy multiple luxury cars, or even a dream mansion overlooking the city skyline. These aren't just ordinary pennies. They are silent witnesses to history, minted during some of America's most turbulent and transformative years. Each coin carries a story, a moment frozen in time, and in the right condition. Each one holds the potential to be worth far more than anyone ever imagined. Collectors around the world search for these pennies, not just for nostalgia, but because their value can be staggering. A single coin in pristine condition could be worth tens of thousands, sometimes even enough to fund your dream mansion or fill a garage with luxury cars. And the most extraordinary part? These coins are still out there. They could be hiding in your grandfather's old jar, forgotten coin album, or even in loose change in your home. It's a treasure hunt disguised as everyday money. It's history, wrapped in metal, and it's waiting for the person who recognizes its hidden power. So keep your eyes open, because one day, a single coin could change your life forever. Welcome back to Old Coin Secrets. Coin number 1, 1943's Copper Lincoln Wheat Penny. The coin that defied war and shouldn't exist. Some coins are rare, some coins are valuable, but some coins were never meant to exist. The 1943's Copper Lincoln Wheat Penny belongs to that final category. It was born in a year of global conflict, a year when metal meant ammunition, a year when every ounce of copper was considered critical to the war effort. In 1943, the United States was deep in World War II. Factories were running 24 hours a day. Planes, tanks, ships, and bullets were being produced at historic speed. Copper was desperately needed for military equipment. So the U.S. Mint made a historic decision. For the first time ever, pennies would not be made from copper. They would be struck from zinc-coated steel. And millions were shiny, silver-colored, magnetic. But at the San Francisco Mint, something unexpected happened. A few leftover bronze planchets, the copper blanks from 1942, were accidentally left in the presses. And when the new 1943 dies struck them, one of the most legendary coins in American history was created. A 1943 penny, made of copper, with an S mint mark, a coin that was never supposed to exist. America in 1943, total war production. To understand this coin, you must understand 1943. The U.S. was fully committed to World War II. Steel was needed for ships. Copper was needed for ammunition. Nickel was needed for armor. Even 5-cent coins were temporarily changed to conserve metal. The government launched massive campaigns encouraging citizens to recycle scrap metal. Copper was too valuable for 1-cent coins. So the mint replaced the traditional 95% copper composition with zinc-coated steel. Over 1 billion steel cents were struck in 1943. Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco all produced them. The steel cent was not popular. It rusted. It looked like a dime. It confused people, but it was necessary. And that's why the existence of a copper 1943 penny is so shocking. It represents a mistake during one of the most intense production periods in American history. The San Francisco Mint, the S factor. The San Francisco Mint played a key role in wartime coin production. In 1943, it struck hundreds of millions of steel cents. But among those millions, a tiny number of copper planchets slipped through. Experts believe only a handful of genuine 1943's copper cents exist. Some estimates suggest fewer than 10 confirmed authentic examples. That's not rare. That's elite. That's museum-level rarity. Design details. Classic Lincoln Wheat. The 1943's Copper Penny features the same iconic design introduced in 1909. Obverse, front, Abraham Lincoln facing right. In God We Trust at the top. Liberty on the left. Date, 1943. Mint mark, small s below the date. Reverse, back. 2 wheat stalks. 1 cent. United States of America. Simple, familiar. But in copper instead of steel, that's what changes everything. How to identify a real 1943's copper penny. Because of its value, this coin is heavily counterfeited. Here's what serious collectors check. Ein Magnettest. Steel cents stick to a magnet. Copper cents do not. If your 1943 penny sticks to a magnet, it is steel. 2 weight test. Steel cent, approximately 2.7 grams. Copper cent, approximately 3.11 grams. A digital scale is critical. 3 color and surface. Genuine copper examples show natural brown, or red coloration. Be cautious of copper-plated steel cents. They are common fakes. 4 date alterations. Some 1948 cents are altered to look like 1943. Under magnification, altered dates show tool marks. 5 professional authentication. Only third-party grading from respected services confirms authenticity. Without certification, value is speculation. With certification, value can be life-changing. Value, when 1 cent, becomes a fortune. Now we arrive at the unbelievable part. Genuine 1943 copper pennies have sold for $100,000, $250,000, $372,000 plus. The 1943's copper version is among the rarest of them all. Auction records and private sales have placed some examples in the high 6 figures. In elite condition, values can approach or exceed $1 million, depending on grade and market demand. 1 cent, struck during wartime by accident, now worth more than luxury vehicles, more than high-end real estate in many cities, more than some people earn in a lifetime. That is the power of rarity plus history plus survival. Why this coin is so valuable? 3 reasons. 1. Extreme rarity. Very few were made accidentally. 2. Historical importance. It represents wartime production pressure. 3. Demand. Lincoln cent collectors consider it a holy grail coin. When supply is microscopic and demand is global, prices explode. The danger of cleaning. If someone finds a 1943 copper penny, the worst mistake they can make is cleaning it. Cleaning removes original surfaces. Original surfaces determine grade. Grade determines value. A cleaned coin could lose tens of thousands of dollars in potential value. Never polish. Never scrub. Never alter. The psychology behind the obsession. Collectors are not just buying metal. They are buying a story. The story of a nation at war. The story of a mistake under pressure. The story of survival against impossible odds. The 1943's copper penny represents industrial urgency, human error, wartime adaptation, accidental rarity. It shouldn't exist. And that's exactly why it's priceless. From 1 cent to a luxury mansion? Let's be realistic. The odds of finding one are extremely small, but not zero. Some have been discovered decades after 1943, hidden in collections, mixed in with ordinary coins, ignored for years. Imagine pulling a brown 1943 penny from a jar, testing it, realizing it's not magnetic, seeing 3.11 grams on the scale, sending it for authentication, and weeks later, receiving confirmation. You're holding a 6-figure coin. That is why collectors check every 1943 penny. Because the difference between a steel cent worth a few cents and a copper cent worth hundreds of thousands is one tiny detail: metal. The 1943's copper Lincoln wheat penny is not just rare. It is legendary. It represents a global war, a metal shortage, a production mistake, and one of the greatest era coins in American history. It was never meant to be made. It slipped through during one of the most intense years America had ever experienced. And today, it stands as one of the most valuable small denomination coins ever produced by the United States Mint. So the next time you see a 1943 penny, don't ignore it. Check the color. Test the magnet. Weigh it carefully. Because sometimes, history makes a mistake. And when it does, that mistake can be worth a fortune. Coin number 2. 1919's Lincoln Wheat Cent. A penny from the aftermath of war. Some coins are born in chaos. Some are born in peace. And some are struck during the fragile moment between the two. The 1919's Lincoln Wheat Cent belongs to that fragile moment. The year was 1919. World War I had just ended. Millions of soldiers were returning home. The global economy was unstable. Inflation was rising. The Spanish flu pandemic had just devastated populations worldwide. America was exhausted, but rebuilding had begun. And quietly, at the San Francisco Mint, millions of 1919's Lincoln cents were struck, entering circulation in a country trying to find stability again. This was not just a penny. It was a witness to history. America in 1919, a nation recovering. 1919 was not a calm year. It was a transition year. The war officially ended in November 1918, but 1919 was filled with economic uncertainty, labor strikes, political tension, social change, post-war adjustment. Factories that once produced weapons were shifting back to consumer goods. Returning soldiers were searching for work. The country was redefining itself. And during this rebuilding period, the 1919's wheat cent was circulating in pockets across the West Coast. Small coin, massive historical backdrop. The Lincoln wheat design, still relatively new. By 1919, the Lincoln cent design was only 10 years old. Introduced in 1909 to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the wheat penny had already become iconic. But in 1919 it still felt modern, fresh, patriotic, a symbol of American resilience. The San Francisco Mint, the S that matters. The 1919 S was struck at the San Francisco Mint. And here's where things become interesting. The San Francisco Mint in the early 1900s was known for weaker strikes compared to Philadelphia. Coins from this mint often show softer details, weak hair definition, flat wheat stalk lines, slightly rough surfaces. This makes fully detailed examples much harder to find. And when you combine that with heavy circulation in the early 1900s, high-grade survivors become scarce, very scarce. Design breakdown, obverse, front, Abraham Lincoln facing right. In God We Trust, Liberty. Date, 1919. Mint mark, small s below the date. Reverse, back. 2 wheat stalks, 1 cent. United States of America. The composition, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight, 3.11 grams. Classic bronze composition, simple, timeless. Why the 1919 S is tough and high grade? Here's the reality. The total mintage was over 139 million coins. That sounds high, but numbers can be misleading. Most of these coins, circulated heavily, were worn down quickly, show weak strikes from the beginning. So while circulated examples are common, sharp mint state examples are difficult. And fully red mint state coins? Extremely difficult, especially with strong details. That's where value changes dramatically. What collectors look for. When serious collectors evaluate a 1919 S, they examine 1 hair detail above Lincoln's ear, 2 sharp cheek and jaw definition, 3 strong wheat lines on reverse, 4 a clear undamaged S mint mark, 5 original surfaces, not cleaned. Because early San Francisco coins often show weakness, finding one with strong strike quality is premium territory. Color matters too. Brown, fully toned. Red-brown, mix of original red and brown. Red, full original mint luster. Red examples command serious premiums. Market value, realistic price ranges. Circulated grades, very fine. 8, 20, extremely fine. 25, 60. About uncirculated. 75 Ives, 150. Mint state values, MS60 brown, $200, $400. MS63 brown, $400, $800. MS65 brown, $1,000, $2,000 plus. MS65 red, $8,000, $43,000 plus. Top population red examples have sold for significantly more at auction. Now think about that. 1 cent, over $40,000, because it survived in extraordinary condition. Why the 1919 S is important. This coin represents post-war America, economic rebuilding, early 20th century San Francisco minting, a transitional historical moment. It's not a dramatic era coin. It's not a metal change coin like 1943. Its power lies in condition rarity. High-grade examples are elite, and elite coins bring elite prices. The cleaning mistake. One of the biggest tragedies in coin collecting is cleaning early wheat cents. Many 1919 S coins were cleaned decades ago to make them shiny, but cleaning destroys original luster, surface texture, market value. A cleaned coin can lose thousands of dollars in potential value. Collectors want originality, not shine. Could this penny change your life? Let's be realistic. Most 1919 S cents are worth a few dollars, but high-grade red examples? 5 figures. That's serious money for a 1-cent coin. And here's the suspense. Many people inherited old coin jars. Many collections sit untouched in drawers. And sometimes, a high-grade early wheat cent hides unnoticed. Imagine discovering sharp details, original red luster, clear mint mark, no cleaning, sending it for grading, and receiving confirmation of MS65 red. That's when a 1-cent coin becomes worth more than luxury watches, high-end vacations, down payments on property, all because it survived untouched for over 100 years. The 1919 S Lincoln wheat cent is not flashy. It is not famous for a minting mistake, but it represents a powerful historical moment, a nation recovering from global war. It also represents something collectors deeply understand. Condition is everything. Most coins fade. Most coins wear down. Most coins lose detail. But the rare survivor, the one with sharp strike and original red color, that coin becomes special. That coin becomes valuable. And that coin becomes proof that even the smallest piece of history can carry extraordinary worth. So the next time you see a 1919 Penny with a small S below the date. Pause. Look closely, because sometimes the quietest coins hold the strongest value. Coin number 3. 1939 D Lincoln Wheat Penny. A penny on the edge of World War. Some coins are struck during war. Some coins are struck after war. But some coins are created right before the world changes forever. The 1939 D Lincoln Wheat Penny was born in one of the most critical years of the 20th century. The year was 1939. The Great Depression was still lingering. Economic recovery was fragile. Europe was on the brink of catastrophe. And in September 1939, Germany invaded Poland. World War II had begun. America had not yet entered the war. But tension was rising, uncertainty was building, and quietly, at the Denver Mint, millions of 1939 D wheat pennies were struck, entering circulation, just as the world stepped into global conflict. This was not just pocket change. It was currency from the final calm before America would be pulled into war. America in 1939, recovery and rising tension. By 1939, the United States was still recovering from the Great Depression. Unemployment had improved, but not completely. Factories were reopening. Consumer confidence was returning slowly. But overseas, the situation was explosive. News of war spread across headlines. Although the U.S. remained neutral at first, economic and industrial shifts were already beginning. Production increased, defense planning accelerated, and during this tense global moment, the 1939 D penny entered circulation. It passed through the hands of workers, soldiers-to-be, shop owners, and families, all unaware of how dramatically the next few years would change history. The Lincoln Wheat design, 30 years strong. By 1939, the Lincoln cent design had been in circulation for 30 years. Introduced in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner, it had already survived World War I, the Roaring Twenties, the Great Depression. It was now entering another historic era. The wheat penny had become more than just a coin. It had become a symbol of American stability. The Denver Mint, the D that counts. The 1939 D was struck at the Denver Mint. Denver was known for strong production numbers, but quality varied. The total mintage for the 1939 D wheat penny was over 15 million coins, compared to many other wheat cents. That number is not extremely high, but not tiny either. So what makes it interesting? Condition and strike quality. Many Denver coins from this era show slightly weak details, soft hair strands, less defined wheat lines, minor die wear. So while circulated examples are affordable, high-grade mint state examples become much scarcer, especially with full red color. Design details, what to look for. Obverse, front, Abraham Lincoln facing right. In God we trust. Liberty. Date, 1939. Mint mark, small d below the date. Reverse, back. 2 wheat stalks. 1 cent. United States of America. Composition, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight, 3.11 grams. Classic bronze wheat cent composition. No dramatic design change. But sometimes, ordinary design plus extraordinary condition equals serious value. What makes the 1939 D valuable? This coin is not famous for a major minting error. Its value depends on 1. Condition, 2. Original red luster, 3. Strike sharpness, 4. Population scarcity and high grades. Most 1939 D pennies circulated heavily. They bought groceries. They paid for newspapers. They passed through thousands of hands. And circulation removes detail. It removes luster. It removes value. But when one survives untouched, that's when collectors pay attention. What collectors examine closely. When grading a 1939 D wheat penny, experts look at hair detail above Lincoln's ear, cheek and jaw sharpness, full separation of wheat lines, clean original surfaces, strong D mint mark. They also check for full red color, red-brown, brown. Red coins bring the highest premiums, and in this date, full red high-grade examples are not common. Market value, realistic price breakdown. Circulated grades, about uncirculated, 10, 25. Mint state values, MS60 brown, $40, $75. MS63 brown, 75 ives, $150. MS65 brown, $250, $400. MS65 red, $1,000, $11,500 plus. Top-tier red examples in MS66 and above have sold for even higher amounts. Now think about that. A coin that originally bought a piece of candy, now potentially worth thousands of dollars. Because it survived. Why high-grade 1939 D coins matter. There are 3 main reasons. 1. Pre-war historical significance. It represents the final pre-war years before America entered WW2. 2. Condition rarity. High-grade red survivors are scarce. 3. Strong collector demand. Lincoln cent collectors aim to complete full date and mint sets. And when demand meets limited high-grade supply, prices climb. The biggest mistake: cleaning. Many wheat cents from the 1930s were cleaned decades ago. People thought shiny meant better. But in modern numismatics, cleaning is destructive. Cleaning removes original mint luster. It scratches surfaces. It lowers grade dramatically. A cleaned MS coin might drop to AU details, and that could mean losing thousands in value. Collectors want originality. Originality equals premium value. Could this penny help fund something big? Let's be honest. Most 1939D wheat pennies are worth a few dollars. But high-grade red examples? Thousands. And here's the suspense. Many old coin collections were built in the 1940s and 1950s. Some were stored away and forgotten. Some were inherited. Some are still sitting in old albums. Imagine discovering a 1939D, bright red, sharp details, untouched surfaces, sending it to a professional grading service, and receiving confirmation, MS66 red. That tiny copper coin could suddenly represent a serious financial asset. All from 1 cent. The 1939D Lincoln Wheat Penny is not flashy. It does not have a dramatic error. It is not a metal transition coin. But it represents the final moments before America entered the most defining war of the 20th century. And in high grade, it becomes far more than 1 cent. It becomes a historical artifact, a collector's prize, a valuable survivor of time. So the next time you see a 1939 penny with a small d under the date, don't dismiss it. Look carefully, because sometimes the coins struck right before history changes become the most meaningful of all. Coin number 4. 1945's Lincoln Wheat Penny, a silent witness from the end of the war. Some coins are struck during peace, some coins are struck during conflict, and some coins are struck just as the world breathes a quiet sigh of relief. The 1945's Lincoln Wheat Penny belongs to that rare category. It was created during a pivotal moment in global history, when World War II was coming to an end, and yet uncertainty still lingered. The year was 1945. In Europe, Nazi Germany had surrendered in May. In the Pacific, the United States was still engaged in intense battles, with victory in sight but not yet fully realized. The world was on the brink of unprecedented change, and everyday Americans were beginning to glimpse a future that had once seemed impossible. Peace. Amid all this, the San Francisco Mint quietly struck millions of 1945's Lincoln Wheat Pennies, coins that would circulate through pockets, cash registers, and coin jars across the nation. Coins that were ordinary in function, yet extraordinary in the story they carry. America in 1945. Transition. From war to peace. By 1945, the United States was a country transformed. Wartime production had reshaped cities, factories, and the economy. Women had entered the workforce in unprecedented numbers. Families were adjusting to rationing, scarcity, and uncertainty. And then slowly, hope returned. Victory in Europe meant relief. The prospect of returning soldiers meant reunions and rebuilding. The world was about to pivot from destruction to reconstruction. And during this critical moment, a simple penny was produced, a symbol of continuity, of daily life, of American resilience. The Lincoln Wheat design, classic and enduring. By 1945, the Lincoln cent had been in circulation for over 35 years. Designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a historical figure. Its obverse shows Abraham Lincoln facing right. In God we trust. Liberty. Date 1945. Mint mark S below the date. Its reverse displays 2 wheat stalks along the edges. 1 cent. United States of America. The design was consistent, reliable, and iconic. It had survived the Great Depression and multiple global crises. By 1945, it had become a trusted emblem of everyday commerce. The San Francisco Mint, the S that counts. The 1945's penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint. Mint production details. Total mintage, approximately 70 million coins. Lower than Philadelphia but higher than some earlier S-Mint issues. Most coins circulated heavily, as wartime demand meant money had to move. San Francisco pennies were distributed primarily along the West Coast, passing through multiple hands, often in tough circulation conditions. Design and composition. Details to know. Obverse, front. Lincoln's profile. Fine hair strands. Sharp cheek and jaw definition. In God we trust. Reverse, back. Twin wheat stalks framing 1 cent. United States of America. Composition: 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight: 3.11 grams. The design is simple but elegant. Even subtle details, like the strength of Lincoln's hair strands or the clarity of the wheat lines, can determine value today. Why collectors value the 1945S? The 1945S is not known for mint errors, but its appeal comes from historical context and condition. 1. Historical timing. Struck during the final year of World War II, it represents hope and transition. 2. Mint mark significance. The S mint mark denotes San Francisco, adding desirability for collectors completing full-date sets. 3. Condition scarcity. Most circulated coins show heavy wear, making uncirculated or high-grade examples more valuable. 4. Color variants. Coins with full original red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown BN surfaces attract attention. High-grade full red coins are especially sought after. Collector details. What to examine. When inspecting a 1945S wheat penny, professionals look for hair detail above Lincoln's ear, cheek and jaw sharpness, wheat line separation, clean original surfaces, crisp S mint mark. Any damage, scratches, or cleaning can significantly reduce value. Market value. Price guide. Circulated coins. Uncirculated mint state coins. MS-60 brown, $15, $30. MS-63 brown, $40, $75. MS-65 red brown, $200, $400. MS-65 red, $1,000, $60,600 plus. Premium full red MS-66 examples can sell for even higher at auction. Even though it's a 1-cent coin, survival in perfect condition transforms its value dramatically. Mistakes that destroy value. Many wheat pennies lose value due to cleaning, polishing, abrasive scrubbing, improper storage. Collectors prioritize natural patina, original luster, untouched surfaces. Artificial shine or cleaning can remove thousands in potential value. Symbolism: more than money. The 1945S wheat penny symbolizes transition from war to peace, American resilience, everyday life amidst historic change, a silent witness to history. It's a coin that passed through countless hands, helped families in small transactions, and survived decades to tell a story. Collectors see beyond the metal. They see the narrative, the journey, and the potential. The 1945S Lincoln wheat penny may seem ordinary at first glance, but in the right condition, it's extraordinary. It captures a moment in history, the last year of a global conflict that reshaped the world. It represents hope, endurance, and continuity. And for collectors, it carries tangible financial value, sometimes enough to fund dreams that a 1-cent coin could never imagine. So the next time you find a 1945 penny with a small S under the date, pause, examine it closely, because it may be more than just a coin. It could be a silent witness to history and a key to a life-changing treasure. Coin number 5. 1949 Lincoln wheat penny. A quiet coin from the dawn of a new era. Some coins tell stories of glory. Some coins tell stories of struggle. And some coins tell stories of quiet transitions, moments when the world is changing. But most people are too busy living their daily lives to notice. The 1949 Lincoln wheat penny belongs to that rare, almost magical category. It was minted during a time when the world had begun healing from the horrors of World War II. Nations were rebuilding, economies were stabilizing, and hope was slowly returning to everyday life. America, having emerged as a global power, was beginning its post-war transformation. Families were moving into newly built suburbs. Cars were becoming more than a luxury. They were a part of the American dream. And in the midst of all this change, a simple copper penny quietly entered circulation. It was not a coin meant to be a collector's item. It was meant to be spent, to buy a loaf of bread, a newspaper, or a pack of gum. Yet today, more than 70 years later, this small piece of copper has the power to change lives. America in 1949, hope, growth, and opportunity. By 1949, the United States had fully entered a new era. The post-war economic boom was underway. Returning soldiers were buying homes and starting families. Cities were expanding, and suburbs were flourishing. Technology and industry were advancing rapidly. The 1949 wheat penny represents this pivotal moment. It is a snapshot of a country that had survived global conflict and was now looking forward to prosperity. While most people treated it as an ordinary penny, the coin quietly carried historical significance. It had survived wartime austerity and was now part of America's new optimism. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, a timeless design. By 1949, the Lincoln Wheat Penny was already a staple of American coinage. Obverse, front, Abraham Lincoln facing right. In God we trust. Liberty. Date, 1949. Mint mark, optional. D for Denver, S for San Francisco. Reverse, back. Twin wheat stalks along the edges. 1 cent. United States of America. The design had remained largely unchanged since 1909. Its simplicity, elegance, and historical significance made it instantly recognizable. Minting and circulation, where the coin comes from. The 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny was minted at Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark. Denver Mint, D mint mark. San Francisco Mint, S mint mark. Production numbers. Philadelphia, 1.5 billion coins. Denver, 274 million coins. San Francisco, are 100 million coins. San Francisco coins were the lowest in mintage, making them particularly desirable for collectors seeking completeness in their collections. Design details. Obverse, front. Lincoln's facial features. Detailed hair strands above the ear. Sharp cheek and jawline. In God we trust. Reverse, back. Wheat stalks with fine inner lines. Bold 1 cent. United States of America. Composition. 95% copper. 5% tin and zinc. Weight, 3.11 grams. Collectors know that even small details, the sharpness of the hair or the clarity of the wheat lines, can make a coin significantly more valuable. Why collectors love the 1949 Wheat Penny. The 1949 Wheat Penny is not famous for errors, but for several key reasons. 1. Historical timing, minted in the early post-World War II years, a period of optimism and change. 2. Mint mark importance. The S and D coins add rarity value for those completing full sets. 3. Condition scarcity, most circulated heavily, and coins in near-perfect condition are increasingly rare. 4. Color variants. Full red, RD, red-brown, RB, and brown, BN surfaces attract collectors. High-grade, full red examples are especially sought after, sometimes fetching thousands of dollars. Collector details. What to inspect. Collectors evaluating a 1949 Wheat Penny look for sharp hair detail above Lincoln's ear, cheek and jaw definition, clear wheat lines on the reverse, original unclean surfaces, crisp mint marks, D or S. Even minor scratches, cleaning, or polishing can drastically reduce value. Market value, price ranges, circulated coins, uncirculated mint state coins, MS-60, brown, $15, $30, MS-63, brown, $50, $75, MS-65 red-brown, $250, $500, MS-65 red, $700, $12,500 plus. Premium full red MS-66 coins may reach several $1,000s in private sales or auctions. Common mistakes that destroy value. Many 1949 pennies lose potential value due to polishing, chemical cleaning, abrasive scrubbing, improper storage. Collectors prioritize original surfaces, natural patina, untouched texture. Artificial shine or damage can destroy thousands of dollars in potential value. Symbolism, more than just currency. The 1949 Wheat Penny represents post-war hope, American resilience and recovery, stability and economic optimism, a silent witness to decades of change. It's a coin that survived the transition from war to peace, quietly circulating as part of daily life, while silently holding the story of a nation moving forward. Final thoughts. The 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny may seem small, humble and unremarkable, yet in the right hands and the right condition, it carries historical weight, collector appeal, and tangible financial value. From ordinary transactions to extraordinary investments, it stands as a bridge between everyday life and monumental historical change. So the next time you stumble upon a 1949 penny, especially a high-grade S or D mint, stop, examine it carefully, because that small, unassuming coin could be a silent witness to history, and, if lucky, a key to your dream house or luxury lifestyle.